Imagine a man. He is a recognized master. His projects win awards. His buildings, of glass, steel, and concrete, are hymns to modern style. The cold perfection of lines, the flawless geometry of proportions, absolute functionality. Now, look deeper. His inner world is an exact replica of his creations. All his thoughts are arranged on shelves. All his emotions are under lock and key. All his feelings are hidden behind an impenetrable facade of logic and efficiency. In his head stands the same cold, gray, perfectly drawn city. Perhaps this man is a part of you? And one day this city froze. He received the most important commission of his life, the one he had secretly dreamed of since childhood. But he couldn't squeeze a single living line out of himself. The inspiration was gone. Inside there was only silence. Not a blissful one, but a dead, ringing emptiness. His inner world was perfect and completely lifeless. He tried everything he knew: discipline, analysis, willpower. He tried to calculate inspiration, to design a miracle. But his tools no longer worked. He realized that he had built a magnificent prison for himself and had become its prisoner. And then, in despair, he went for advice to an old restorer who was single-handedly bringing frescoes back to life in an abandoned church. The old man listened to him and said, "You are trying to draw the image of life using dead lines. Your mind has forgotten how to speak the same language as the world. Go and learn to read the language of life itself again." And the old man gave him a strange prescription. The prescription read, 7 days, 7 steps to the source. Each day, you must find 1 hour for complete, silent, and aimless contemplation. Day 1, the loud silence. He sat on a bench in front of an old brick wall. Irritation boiled within him. His mind screamed, "What absurdity! I have a deadline looming. I'm wasting precious time." He fought with himself for 10 minutes. 20. He forced himself to look at the wall, but he didn't see it. He only saw his thoughts about it. And then he grew tired of fighting, and he surrendered. And in that inner silence, he suddenly noticed how the sun gently warmed his face, how the light glided over the rough, wrinkled skin of the old brick, how, in a tiny, almost invisible crack, a lone sprout of moss trembled in the wind. He suddenly saw not a wall, but a whole universe. And the noise in his head didn't just quiet down. It was tamed by this simple, silent, real beauty. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about anything. He just was. The following days, immersion. It was a quiet pilgrimage. He spent hours studying the amazing, mathematically perfect harmony of the veins on a fallen maple leaf. And his inner architect silently bowed before this living perfection. He sat in the park, eyes closed, and listened to an old recording of a cello. And the music was not just sound. It was like a warm, golden oil that slowly seeped into the cracks of his concrete world, healing and warming it. One day, he simply brewed himself a cup of the most ordinary tea, but drank it as if for the first time in his life, feeling every shade of the aroma, every touch of warmth. But the real turning point happened on the 4th day. The 4th day, living beauty. The task was to find beauty in an act. He was sitting in a cafe and saw a simple, almost banal scene. An elderly woman's bag tore and apples rolled across the pavement. A young girl ran up to her, and together, laughing, they began to collect them. And for the first time, he looked not at the action itself, but at what was behind it. At the fleeting, sincere flash of warmth between two complete strangers. This beauty was not perfect, like the leaf. It was not harmonious like the music. It was alive, real, and it was warming. Do you feel it? That day, for the first time, he felt the ground begin to thaw in the gray city in his head. The end of the journey. The return home. On the last day, he returned to the church. He walked up to the dilapidated fresco on the wall. And now he could see. He saw not just faded paint. He saw the gaze of the saint. He saw the love and forgiveness in that gaze. He looked at the fresco, and the fresco looked into the very depths of his soul. And in that moment, the concrete city in his head finally crumbled. And in its place, a garden began to grow. The next morning, he came to his office. He looked at the blueprints of his perfect skyscraper and saw in it an arrogant emptiness. He picked up a pencil, and his hand began to draw on its own. The building now resembled not a crystal, but a tree. It had both slender proportions and living asymmetry. It had both concrete and living greenery. It had life. He had received his medicine. And now, this prescription is for you. Contact with beauty is not rest. It is the tuning of your soul. The contemplation of the beautiful literally returns our inner world to its natural, harmonious state, washing away all the mental dust. This is vitamin K. It doesn't treat symptoms. It nourishes and heals the very fabric of your soul. Therefore, your prescription for today is not to seek beauty, but to allow it to find you. Set aside 15 minutes, sit by a window, put away your phone, and just watch a cloud, a tree branch, your own hand, without a goal, without analysis, without expectation. For these 15 minutes, become the restorer of your own soul.